Thinking about moving to the Dayton area and you're stuck choosing between Beavercreek and Centerville? Well, on the map, they might look close, and on paper, they can seem pretty similar. But when you actually live here, the lifestyle, the cost, and the day-to-day experience can feel completely different. So which one is right for you? And which one might look great online, but feel wrong in real life? My name is Stephanie Clemens. I'm with RE/MAX Victory and Affiliates, and today we're breaking down Beavercreek versus Centerville so you can decide which one works for you and where you should actually live before you make the move. If you would like more videos like this, be sure to hit subscribe so you can be notified when all the new ones come out. Before we dive into specific streets and neighborhoods, here's the big picture you need to really understand. Both Beavercreek and Centerville are established suburbs in the Dayton area. They're both popular with families, professionals, and people looking to relocate here. These are usually in the top 3-4 of neighborhoods people are looking for, but they have very different vibes and priorities. And that's where people get a little tripped up, because choosing the wrong suburb, it doesn't just affect your home, it affects your commute, your routine, your overall budget, and honestly, your overall quality of life. So in this video, we're comparing Beavercreek and Centerville across lifestyle, housing, cost of living, commute and connectivity, and who each one is actually best for. So let's jump right in. Neighborhood 1, we're referring to Neighborhood 1 as Beavercreek. We're going to give you an overall feel of what it seems like to live in Beavercreek. So Beavercreek is known for having a really suburban, family-friendly feel. The vibe here is polished, but it's still relaxed and super convenient, but still has that suburb with space vibe. So when it comes to the street feel, you'll notice a lot of tree-lined areas, 2-lane highways going through those areas, curving a little bit, quiet neighborhoods, and a mix of older established pockets with newer development mixed in. And one reputation Beavercreek definitely has, especially in this area, is being really popular with people connected to Wright Patt Air Force Base or people who want to be super close to it, those contractors. People who love Beavercreek usually value things like being close to parks, trails, more open, airy feels, and golfing. Convenience and being near shopping, proximity to Wright Patt, and having that established neighborhood feel. But it's not for everyone, and we'll talk about that in a bit. In regards to housing, one important thing to know about Beavercreek is, well, it's not just one thing, but it has different pockets that feel totally different depending on where you land in Beavercreek. You'll find areas that have a more traditional and established feeling to them, and other areas you'll feel newer and more subdivision style. Beavercreek housing is mostly single-family homes, a mix of 70s, 80s. The newer homes would be those built in the 1990s up until now. You'll see a strong condo and patio home feel and presence, which is great if you want that low-maintenance living. In terms of layout, you'll get a mix of some smaller, more traditional layouts and some larger homes depending on the neighborhoods, along with some quad and tri-level homes. Where you land in Beavercreek can definitely change your price, change your lot size, change your commute. Beavercreek does cover a large area, and maybe even your resale value. So Beavercreek is one of those places where two homes that look similar online can feel totally different in real life, depending on the exact location. Okay, let's talk numbers. In Beavercreek, pricing generally breaks down like this. If you're looking for an entry-level ranch-style home, less than 2,000 square feet, you're looking at $200,000 to $300,000. If you're looking at mid-range, you're probably going to start your price point about $350,000 all the way up to possibly $550,000. Premium luxury is going to be $800,000 and up. And your cost really depends on things like the size of the home, the size of the yard, the location within Beavercreek, the year it was built, and whether it's been updated or renovated. This is why two homes one block apart can feel like they're in totally different markets, because you can have a newer subdivision here next to a quad housing development. Now let's shift over to Centerville. If Beavercreek feels more like that classic suburban family-friendly vibe, Centerville definitely feels a little bit more central, a little bit more trendy, and a little bit more high-paced. Centerville has a reputation for being A little hip, a little bit more energetic, and it tends to attract everyone from younger professionals to families to people that are downsizing. They've got a great condo living life there also. People who gravitate towards Centerville usually want easy access to highways such as 75 or 35, highly rated schools, and quick access to shopping, restaurants, and everyday conveniences. Centerville definitely has that everything is right here feeling. Now, just like Beavercreek, Centerville also has distinct pockets, and the housing here typically includes a mix of older established neighborhoods that were 1960s, all the way up to newer homes and some larger 2- and 3-story homes, along with the ranches, which are the 1960s ones, and you'll also see tri-levels and more traditional Dayton-style builds. Compared to Beavercreek, buyers often feel that Centerville can feel a little bit more main road connected in some areas, meaning you've got smaller streets that are your main roads. It can have more of that centralized vibe and has a lot of convenient shopping and dining nearby. Kind of on the outskirts is where the shopping is. The dining is in Midtown. It's also one of those places where you can find a really established neighborhood, but still be 5 minutes from everything. Now for pricing, Centerville, here's a general breakdown. Entry level is going to be around $250 for that ranch home that's smaller. Mid-range, you'll be about $335 to $500, and the premium luxury, once again, about $850 and up. In Centerville, you usually pay more for new construction, updated homes, and certain locations that are closer to everything, but you can find better value if you're willing to do some updates yourself. So if you don't mind doing a little painting, adding some flooring or cosmetic upgrades, you can usually get a lot more house for your money, just with some elbow grease. One thing both Beavercreek and Centerville have in common is access, but how you get around can feel really different. For Beavercreek, it's a lot of jumping onto 675 or 35 or down North Fairfield. So commuting to Wright Patt Air Force Base, downtown Dayton, or UD, it's usually really straight shot, straightforward. A lot of times you're looking at 15 to 20 minutes, depending on where you are and the time of day. It could even be less than that, but I'd say average time is 15 minutes. For Centerville, commuting to Wright Patt UD downtown Dayton is totally doable, but it can be a little bit longer because you do have those main roads with lights and traffic, and which, depending on which side of Centerville you're on, your commute can be anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes, and it can push sometimes even closer to 30 if you're way on the opposite side. So here's the key takeaway. A shorter commute matters more than people expect, especially long term, because those extra 5 minutes each way doesn't sound like much until you live it every day. And, 5 minutes adds up. It's 10 minutes, it's 15. And, life goes fast. Sometimes 5 minutes makes a huge difference. So here's the simplest way to think about it. Choose Beavercreek if you want parks, trails, lots of trees, and more of that quiet suburban country type feel. Easy access to Target, the Green Shopping Center and shopping, and more of that 1970s to 2000 plus style home selection with some larger yard options. Choose Centerville if you want easy access to highways and commute options, trendier restaurants, shopping such as Whole Foods, and that everything is nearby, and a more centralized location with a little bit more energy. And truly, neither one is better. They're just better for different people. So, final thoughts. The biggest mistake buyers make isn't choosing the wrong home, it's choosing the wrong neighborhood. Because once you understand how these areas actually function on a day-to-day basis, the right choice usually becomes really clear. Everyone lives differently, and everyone wants different things close to them. A lot of times, lifestyle trumps the commuting time. So if you're thinking about moving to the Dayton area or deciding between suburbs like Beavercreek or Centerville, reach out. My information is below, and I'm curious, which one surprised you the most, Beavercreek or Centerville? Drop it in the comments, and I will see you the next video.